Oh, it's got drugs all over it. Shiny. Yeah. Okay, so seek first to understand. I've got no notes on this, but I'd like to talk about it, and it might spill over into other videos, but for now I'll just clunk my way into it and see what happens. I've been learning a bit more about water and the amazing properties inherent in this wonderful substance that we call water, and so I like to write notes on my bottle just because, so patience and strength right up the top, but in the middle here it's all faded because yeah, it is. I've got seek first to understand, as just every time I reach for water it's a reminder there, and it takes me a little while for these things to sink in as a way of being, I suppose, and it possibly ties in with many other areas and old sort of wisdom, like don't judge a book by its cover sort of thing. So I don't think it is limited to other people. It certainly applies there, but also just projects, like if you want to work on a car or some artwork or whatever it is that you're doing, it's definitely wise to understand the details of it first. And to speak from experience, just with cars, you can paint yourself into a corner real quick if you don't sort of understand the process and the steps involved. You know what I mean? It requires a deeper sort of line of thinking than just the surface level. So even just having enough tools to complete a job, you might pull a part off, put the new one on, and then suddenly you've got to use a torque wrench to get the right tension on the bolts. And if you don't have a torque wrench, you're just guessing at that point. And you can go by feel after a certain amount of time, but that takes experience to do that. So I'm usually cruising around quite oblivious to other people and quite detuned because I think I'm a bit sensitive. So as a result, I tend to just shut out heaps of information because it's overwhelming and stressful for me. So that's sort of what I've developed in myself as a way to get by, as a way to make it through this world, and learning to make little changes here and there to just try something different to see if it has a different result for me, So in terms of other people, I think it's really like a empathy, heart connection to have that attitude of let me understand something about you before I go opening my mouth on what I think, what the problem is, if there is one, or what the solution is if you're looking for one, you know what I mean? So to really ask thoughtful questions to do with what the person is mentioning, or what they're saying, whether they're using words or not. So I think understanding is very valuable for everyone involved. And one of my old housemates used to say, once you got to know her really well, she'd just be like, I just want to be understood. So what does that even mean, to be understood? I think it's got to begin at home. You want to understand yourself and master yourself and know yourself, know thyself. It's an ancient wisdom sort of thing, and I think it's a little bit, maybe not foolish, but misguided to have a yearning to be understood by those around you, because For one, if you don't make any effort to understand them, then it's a little bit hypocritical. And for two, if you don't even know yourself, if you haven't taken the time to get to know yourself and understand the way you are and why you are the way you are, it's got to start there. And I think when you start developing self-understanding, that need to be understood, I think that's naturally going to fall away, because it's just, in my view, it's like certain people will naturally understand you just from being around you. And for those people, it's wonderful, and it's a clean experience to spend time with them, because there's no like friction, you know what I mean? It's very clear and not ambiguous or confusing. There's no hidden agendas or anything. So yeah, that's wonderful, and I think there's no need to explain anything. It's just the natural, intuitive understanding that you can have with someone. And yeah, like I said, there's no need to put words on it, really. It's just a feeling and a knowing. So there's that, and then there's people that don't understand you, which can be very, very frustrating, and it can lead you to sort of be tempted to explain yourself and justify your existence to these people that are just, they are never going to get it, man. So in that sense, I'd say it's foolish to be clutching to that desire to be understood, because the people that get you just get you naturally, and there's, it's done already. The people that don't get you, you're slamming your head against a brick wall, because no amount of you explaining things to them in the clearest way possible is ever really going to get through to them, because it has to line up with something in their own experience. And if they've never sort of wandered into the areas that you have in your life experience, they're just not going to have a reference point to be able to have that sort of empathetic, intuitive connection about who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. And yeah, it is what it is. It's I think a valuable thing to be okay with being misunderstood, and not depending on understanding from an external source, whether it's a person or a rock or a bird or a lizard. It's like, does a lizard understand you? Is it important that a lizard understands you? It gets a little bit ridiculous if you start expanding beyond the very sort of human-centric way that we tend to go about just looking at life, and experience. So I think when you've got there may not ever be a complete understanding of what it is to be yourself, because you push up into areas of non-duality, and this self doesn't even really exist, so to keep it from getting off into the weeds there, and to keep it grounded in our, duality sort of playground, just the willingness to put in a little bit of effort to understand yourself removes the need to be understood by others, because even the people closest to you are never going to understand you as well as you can understand yourself. And the potential is there for your understanding, your own understanding of yourself, to be the deepest understanding possible in terms of that area of life. So yeah, I don't know why these things are interesting for me. It's just I love learning, and I love evolution, so yeah, if we're not growing, we're dying in some sense. So to be just taking little steps of growth here and there, I think, is a wonderful thing, and definitely keeps life interesting. So yeah, wherever that came from, I'll think of it later. I'm blanking at the moment, but that seek first to understand, I think that's a valuable little piece of wisdom to integrate into daily life if you can, and I'm definitely making that effort myself, and yeah, I guess I'll see how it goes. It's just a recent thing, but yeah, so far so good, right? Peace.